Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast made for people who respect the sanctity of the GM bribe.
Ooh. What's the best GM bride you've witnessed? Bribe, not bride. That'd be weird.
I mean, to be honest, the best GM bribe I've witnessed is one I've received.
Oh.
Yeah, so my previous table, well, not still going. The table is still going with Abomination Vaults. But we switched from like Roll20 and we went to Foundry. And playing Foundry, we subscribed to the Forge, which is like hosting for Foundry.
Okay.
And one of the players there basically bought the highest tier possible, which is $100 odd per year or something like that, and went, it's all right, it's my treat.
But in exchange for what? Like, what was
I was the GM.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, that was an amazing GM bribe.
I'm trying to think if I've ever tried to bribe a GM. I think the closest thing I got to was nachos. I bribed Connell with nachos. I don't remember if it worked or not.
Desi is in the chat.
Yes. Hey, Desi girl. But
how's it going, Desi?
Yeah. Geez, you're here early, girl. I should start bribing people with Desi's food. Like, I will ship you food from Desi if you give me things in game.
Does Desi do good food?
Oh, Desi does good food. I think last time I was at her house, I sat in the living room just like trying to get like all the rice in my mouth.
Fair, yeah. Okay, if we can ship it over to the UK, I will gladly taste Desi's food.
Yeah, or ship you to the States. You know, either one. That should be a follower thing.
That should be.
Get you a certain amount of followers, and we'll flip sides of the lake.
Yeah, we'll give it a whirl. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I'll put that in the chart. I've got a whole chart of things. Oh my God! It's Connell, it's Desi, it's Sam. We got a full chat in the house tonight.
All right, that's fantastic.
Speaking of bribes.
I'm listening.
I'm trying to bribe Connell. He apparently has secrets. And I was like, what if I could?
Why has Connell got secrets?
Connell always has secrets. Always. Have you met him?
Yes, I've met him. But yeah, what kind of secrets?
I don't know. He won't tell me. Gaming secrets.
Is it a secret love? Because I know that's me.
Oh boy, here we go again. I don't think there's much secret to that, if we're being completely honest.
And couch is the bit on the side. What can I say?
That's fair.
Oh, sorry. Connell told me to shush.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm in trouble now.
Oh, yeah, you're in lots of trouble. Speaking of being in trouble,
yes,
I'm not going to wait. I have to tell you the story. Okay,
go on, I'm listening.
So we played, gaming story.
Gaming story. Catch up time.
Yeah, seriously, we played Level Up last night. Everything we play is Level Up right now. I said last week, we've transitioned to a whole Level Up table, and I love it. Sci-fi game was last night. We played Void Runner specifically. Such a good system. And very long story. Have you ever seen the Langoliers? Stephen King's Langoliers?
Oh God, no, I don't think I have.
Okay.
I'm familiar with it, but I've not.
Like the image of like the giant worm tadpole things with like the teeth rotating, no eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Think that, but like only a foot long, right? Our ship got invaded by these tadpoles, right?
Okay.
And my construct has this giant light sword. Not a lightsaber, two very different things. And she's fighting them.
A legally distinct sword made of light.
Yes, exactly. And mine also looks more like a broadsword. So just gonna say.
Yeah, fair enough.
One of our players released the fire extinguishing foam on the ship. So there's foam splashes down on the ship. There's lights going on and off. There's people kind of yelling and screaming because we're fighting off these horrible leeches that are attacking everybody. The player who plays our captain of the ship, okay, could not roll above 2 to save his life on his perception checks. The foam drops and he sees the alarm goes off, doesn't notice it. It's like, oh, it's fine. he sticks his head out the door to see my character wielding her sword, and because he rolled in that one, he's like, oh, she's got it, it's fine. He turned his communication bracelet thing on sleep because it was bothering him in his sleep. About 7 or 8 rounds, could not roll higher than like a 2 or a 3, and we were getting to the point where poor Connell is just like, okay, how do we get this guy to because you can't just like, oh, it's okay, the roll doesn't matter. The roll matters. If the roll didn't matter, it would be a game, right?
Yeah.
And finally he didn't actually notice it. It was more like he got angry because he thought we were trying to wake him up. So he storms out of his room and he pulls his blaster and he shoots one of these things midair. And of course, that's when he rolls in that 20.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I have never seen such a perfect example of such failed perception rolls in a row like that. Like, what's your favorite fail? What's your favorite fail?
My favorite fail. Oof.
Yeah. Hey, Couch, by the way, shout out.
Hey, Couch, how's it going? Okay. This was quite a recent one. This was in Delta Green. Couch is very familiar with this particular scenario. They were in a haunted house. One of the characters got possessed. So Couch's character decided he was gonna set the house on fire. So, unbeknownst to him, one of the things that the possessed character could not do was leave the house.
Oh.
He could only stay within the house. So house got set on fire. So I just went, told Chris, the person playing the character, okay, give me a luck roll and, let's see what happens to you, sort of thing. And he fumbled the luck roll. Just like,
oh,
okay, you die.
Stop. Seriously?
Yep.
Oh man, why is that your favorite fail?
Because it was perfect. It matched the narrative really well.
Okay, no, okay,
because
okay,
it was, he was possessed. He was possessed for about 20 minutes. And the house was on fire, so he could not escape. So yeah, he went and crit fumbled the luck roll.
Couch, if you can hear this, go find your happy place. Go find it.
So yeah, that's how Couch's character killed another.
Oh man, I've only accidentally killed another player once, and I still feel absolutely horrible. It was not my fault. It was absolutely Connell's fault, but still, I feel bad about it.
But was it Connell's fault or was it really your fault? Did you really?
It was Connell's fault. We were basically a bunch of superheroes in a room. Think of me as a crystal version of the Thing, right? Big crystal monster. An explosion happened and I was crystal activated, and I kind of, because of the way he rolled, my character kind of smashed into a much smaller character. It was bad. It was really bad. I'm still slightly scarred about oh no. They'll bring it up in game. They'll be like, yeah, but what about Forge? Because his superhero name was Forge, and I'm like, it's fine. I have all its feelings. Did you play anything this weekend though?
Not this weekend, but last week, because we were one player down for Delta Green, I dusted off the old Blades in the Dark.
Oh, how'd that go?
Fuck, I'd forgotten how much I enjoy that system.
I've never played it.
It is amazing.
It's on my long list. I've never played it. I don't know if I ever will.
It's got crunch where it needs to have it.
Okay.
So, the actual resolution mechanic is really straightforward, really simple.
Yeah.
Very narrative. But when you start going into the crew mechanics and how to level up your crew and how your crew interacts with the rest of the world, it is amazingly crunchy. I think you'd get a kick out of it.
Okay, I'll have to try it.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Blades in the Dark. I'll have to add that to my more recent list. I have a someday list. It's probably not going to happen. And then I have okay, no, I can't. I know people I can push for this. Connell, I'll try it if Atlas does. Is that a dare? That sounds like a challenge, which I have a hard time saying no to. So I think I'm here for that.
It's a system that you need to kind of change your approach with. And one of the main things that I tell people when they start playing is when you roll for something, don't think about what you what you want your character to do.
Okay.
Think about what you want your character to accomplish.
How is that different?
Because when, like, let's say D&D, Pathfinder, what do?
Okay.
Every turn, okay, I move, I swing, I cast a spell, I do this. Whereas in Blades in the Dark, you say, okay, what I want to do is I want to knock this person out. And that's what that's what the dice resolve, how well you accomplish your goal.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I kind of phrase that in all my games, generally speaking. Like, we just played Covenant Crucible yesterday with Stefan in the gang, and I was like, I think I want to do this, and you could see him blink. I'm like, what I'm wanting to get, like, the end game is this, and he's like,
yeah,
oh, okay, yeah.
So in Blades in the Dark, it's all end game. So you don't dictate what you want to do. You dictate what you want your objective to be.
Okay.
I want to sneak away. I want to run away. I want to fight these 3 guys. I want to repel from this building to the next.
Yeah.
And the dice basically indicate how well you do it. You roll a pool of dice. If you get a 6, you accomplish it. You do it.
Okay.
If the highest dice is a 4 to 5, you accomplish it. And then if it's a 1 to 3, you fail.
Huh. So I'm assuming you're just rolling D6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can roll 1 to 4 D6 depending on.
So you're rolling an even numbered dice.
No, 1.
An even numbered dice. 6.
Yeah, 6 is an even number, but 1 normally isn't considered even, Atlas.
I mean, yeah, that's
fair. Some would say, some people out there,
listen,
people far removed from this conversation may have a strong belief that 1 is in fact an odd number.
I mean, perhaps, but they might be wrong. Because what if never mind. I was going to try and do some bullshit philosophy, subjective, whatever. I'm too tired. I've been training all day. So the even number dice or the odd number dice? Exactly, Cash. But also today, completely unrelated to games, but everybody should know this, is Bella's birthday.
Happy birthday, Bella.
I don't know if y'all can see her or not, but it's Bella's 6th birthday. And yeah, she's a big baby now. And you can tell she's pouting. She's like, Mom, I want to go play. Because I told her we'd go for a you-know-what, WALK, and get ice cream. So
she ever loves to spell you fucked.
What? Oh, I know.
You can't trick me.
She actually, the problem is, I can't use the phrase.
Yeah, just don't say it. Just
you
can't use a certain phrase.
The action of pursuing something, the action of, or the verb of proceeding forward towards something in a more common term. I can't say around her because she thinks that we're going. I almost said it. Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to just say something and fuck up.
Yeah, and then Bella will be on my lap, and then the whole
I'm just waiting. You're gonna be so careful, and all of a sudden you're gonna say something. You know,
I do that in game.
We're gonna be talking about a game or something, and you're gonna go, and then there was a chase sequence. Oh fuck.
Yep. Bella across the screen. I do that in game though. Like I'll be sitting here going like, hey, don't say it, and then bleh, it just happens. Like, damn it.
So you and I have caught up. We've kind of gone over what we have been doing.
Yeah.
But I just want to kind of bring up another couple of our friends.
Yes.
Just a kind of bit of an update because these are pretty fucking cool. Andrea from Print and Play Games, good friend of the show. Their Kickstarter is ending this Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. They're already funded. They're on their 10th stretch goal. But yeah, the more people put into it, the more they're going to get out. So you guys have got like 3 days. So check that out.
Which you should. Like, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He's
our friend. We like him.
We like Andrea. And also another person we like very much, Kimmy.
Yeah.
Kimmy's Kickstarter for Starscape. That blew flew past all goals, and that is fully funded, and the Kickstarter is now finished. So congratulations to Kimmy. Huh?
Yeah.
Can't wait to play some Star.
I want to play that so bad. When
Oh, yeah.
she was walking us through the whole like spaceships and oh my
and
gosh.
the relationships and
oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's two kinds of people in the world: the relationships and the role play, the ships and the diagrams.
Which is weird that I took that stance as opposed to the thing. I'm probably the most antisocial out the two of us.
I mean, you say that. You say that, but I don't know if I'd count you as antisocial. Like,
okay, I will amend my classification and go to selectively social.
Okay, that's fair. I'll socialize with anybody. I'm not selective. Like,
I will not.
someone will say hi to me. And there's a Stewart's, if you know what that is. It's like a general store / gas station. It has
Fair
everything
enough.
you need.
Yeah.
It's literally just a walk down the hill, and like people will just be like, hi, I'm like, hi. Conversation starts. I'm like, that's okay, all right, and then I just end up hanging out and talking to people. So,
yeah, I can't do that. I honestly, I can't. But the thing is, you put me in a professional environment.
Yeah.
And I'll switch. And
that's so funny.
And I'll go and I will chat and I will be like the center of attention if needs be. But the moment I step away and go home, it's like, that's it. I'm closing off. If I go meet the friends out and about, great. The moment someone I don't know approaches, it's like, no, I'm not interested. Go away.
Huh. That's funny because I'm almost the opposite. Like, if it's a professional setting, if it's like my classmates, I will always hang back because I kind of want to let them have their moment, and like I want them to be, out there. I actually do it in gaming too. I'm like, hey, how can I get other people involved in the game? How can I get so and so to be more engaged? How can I get so and so to like try and get invested in this RP? But like, if it's strangers, I'm social as I'll get out. Like, it's
I mean, in gaming, I'm like that as well. In gaming, you see the professional side. You see that side of me because I'm a GM.
That's fair.
So even if I'm not GMing at the time, it's still a case of wanting everybody involved and trying to divide my attention between everybody.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. Yeah. I actually I'm hoping to start GMing a little bit more.
Yeah, you should. Definitely.
We'll see how that goes. I have some things up my sleeve I'm going to try and pull off, but we'll see.
Yeah, you definitely should. See, David, Connell, which is why Liberator is such a paragon of justice.
Why? Because he's a professional masochist, like Couch said?
No, that's Couch. Couch is on a rant. Who gives a fuck about Couch right now?
No, I care about Couch right now. Couch has all the dirt on you. He knows the truth about Liberator because he knows the truth about you.
He knows some.
Yeah.
Liberator is a true hero. Liberator is a true hero.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We are going to get these shirts made. We're going to get them out. The people can decide. We will let the people decide.
I think Halo's just she's just an instigator.
Unjustly imprisoned and wants out.
Yeah.
And knows a snake when she sees one.
Nah, I trust the warden's judgment. She's in there for a reason, and she has a kill switch because she's fucking dangerous.
She has a kill switch because people are absolutely prejudiced and we are gonna.
She's dangerous. She's dangerous.
No.
She's dangerous.
No, she's not. Not as dangerous as Liberty. Not even a team play. I will drive to your house and smack. What
very
the
much.
Hell? Someone hacked Connell's keyboard. Don't listen to him. What the hell? Not even a team player. I saved his ass. I made him invisible. I could have just flittered off. I saved Liberator's ass.
Yeah, anyways. You disobeyed a direct order. I'm just saying. Direct order from your team leader.
From someone she can't trust. So, yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to go on for some time.
Yeah.
Make yourself a drink and then come back and, and we may have actually gotten somewhere with this. Kind of doubt it, though.
I mean, I'm not even going to justify that with a comment. Anyways.
Anyways.
No, but like seriously, go watch Inmates. We've got some Fabula coming up. We've got I don't want to. Should I say shit? I feel like I'm going to say shit. We have more games coming up. We have more people playing games. Sam, who's in the chat right now, she's going to be making her debut with us. Like super excited. She played her first game of Covenant Crucible, which is her first game ever. Now she's going to be playing some of Craig's game. Yeah, we've
Shadowlight and Persona.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I've already played it once. Really enjoyed it. But going back to Covenant Crucible, because you guys played last night.
Yes.
How was that?
It was absolutely superb. It was so funny because there are about a million different playing styles within the 6 people playing it right now. It's not 6. It's 5. But still. But that's what I love about that game is that you can have different styles of playing. You can have different styles of character, and it all works together anyways. Like it all meshes so well. And it's so funny because out of character, half the crew is like analyzing and thinking and like, well, what if, and me, because of the way my character is built, is the prime example of they're like, well, who is that person? What are they doing there? My character just walks up to the person and goes like, hey, what's your name? What brings you here? You know. So it's so much fun. It's a great world to play in. I don't know of any other system that I can smash a ghost with a dumpster twice in a row. Like that was so much fun. Like it was good. Like Hulk smash style, just whoop-ah! It was great.
Yeah, we it was Couch, Justin, Chris, and myself playing it, and we just had so much fun.
Yeah,
we were dusting off old characters in spirit, as it were.
Yeah,
and it was just so much fun.
There's rumors in the wind of a crossover game.
Could happen.
I don't know.
Could happen. We started talking about that today. I'm definitely interested. I do believe other people are interested as well.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
We shall definitely get something put together. And Couch just put making fun of religion in my character's face. That was me. I did that.
Oh, I was like, who just did that? And Couch does have things planned for us in Fabula. I'm so excited to play Fabula again.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Yeah, got a good group together, and Fabula is such an elegant system. You know,
there's a lot to it, but not in an overwhelming way of like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just more like, I mean, if you have a good GM, Couch, it's just smooth. It's fun. It's great.
It is, and it is really evocative of like the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah,
It does really well representing those type of games. So if you're into your JRPGs, definitely check out our Fabula.
If you're like any sort of anime, manga, anything like that, go watch the Fabula. It's funny because like I do game art, and I have supporters that are like, oh, that's good. And then just one day for fun, not officially, I wasn't like officially doing a character sheet. I wasn't doing anything. I was just fucking around with my character tray and poses and facial expressions. And everybody fucking loved her. It's like, oh my gosh, this character's so cool. And I'm like, okay, so note to self, I need to stop trying so hard. But it's just, it is a system that makes it easy to make really cool characters.
Oh yeah, you can start with a concept, and even at level 1, you can build that concept, and that is something that I always found with Pathfinder, especially, that if you had a concept, you would have to work towards it, unless you were building at a particular level. But if you were starting out a new campaign at level 1 and you wanted to go, I want to build Captain America, for example, you'd have to work up to that. You'd have to take this, and then you'd have to take an archetype, and then you'd have to kind of build it. Whereas in Fabula, you start at 5th level and you can pick 3 classes.
Yeah.
And they're varied enough as well.
I'm just so excited because, like you said, I started out, I have no idea anything about this game. And I was like, okay, I'm good with smashing things. And Couch is like, okay, we're going to make you Fury. I'm like, cool. So it's just like a brawler, basically, for anyone who hasn't played the game. So I smash things with my fists. I got brass knuckles. And I used to go, by the way, there's mech pilots. And I'm like, I like, almost had a heart attack. Of course, Connell knew his days of enjoying the game were over because I love mechs. He hates them. But now Couch is like, yeah, you can totally be both of those. You can be a Fury fighter that also has mech piloting skills. And I'm like, how fucking cool is that? Like,
And you
it's just. Oh.
and you don't lose anything either.
You don't lose it. Yeah, it's not like sometimes when you like multi-class in different systems, you lose certain things about certain classes. With this one, it's just like, here you go.
Yeah,
Desi, spirit back. Don't be too funny. I can't promise that, Desi. All right, time to get the bedazzled spider suit out. No,
I can promise that.
Oh, rude.
Couch has actually posted in the chat there is a 5th book that's just been announced for Fabula. I didn't even know there was a 4th because I own 3 of them. I own 3 of them because I've got Fabula Ultima, I've got the High Fantasy, and I've got the Tech book. What's the 4th? Couch, you're in the chat.
What's the 4th? Speaking of tech books,
and what's the 5th? Obviously,
the Savage Union looks so good. Natural
4th
fantasy.
is natural fantasy. I didn't even know that was a thing. And what's the 5th?
Yeah, come on, Couch, give us updates.
Come on, Couch, come on.
No pressure. 5th is now full. Oh, bestiary.
All right, I'm not. I don't GM it. That's a GM
That's
thing.
Cool. See. Okay, I'm not. I don't know if anyone else is this like messed up in the head, but I never forget the day. I thought people just bought game books to read. Apparently, that's not the case across the board. So back when Colin and I first started hanging out and talking, Connell was at work. He's got the video call up. I'm waiting for our friends to log into WoW so we can raid. And until then, I just popped open The Ghost of Saltmarsh. I'm just reading it like a book. Yeah. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Reading. I'm wasting time. Why?" And he's like, "You just reading that?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I'll never run it, but I was reading it.
I used to do it for the Pathfinder Adventure Paths.
Yeah. There's some good stuff out there.
Just get it. I mean, the Pathfinder Adventure Paths are really well written. They're really good. Despite my aversion to the system, but the actual adventures are really good.
Yeah.
So I used to just read them, Shattered Star, and just because they are ultimately a good story.
Couch, he said it's going to be fun. It's a full book of new customizations, new build options, just so much more fun to kill people with. Yeah,
I mean, I'm just used to Delta Green, so
it's all talk. It's all talk. Watch you run that, and I'll be like, it's okay.
I mean, the Delta, it's just a good system to run.
I'm excited to play it.
Ooh, Connell's just posted a fantastic fucking question. So, what is my favorite path? All right, so in terms of story, in terms of like this is the story and the beginning, middle, and end, but it's also the worst one in my opinion. It is Wrath of the Righteous. It's a fantastic sort of super powered story, and that's where the mythic rules for Pathfinder First Edition came in. Completely broke the fucking system. They were terrible, but the actual story is fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I actually just realized in you talking about that, I've never run like I've never run a published story. Let's put it that way. In any system, in any game I've ever played, and I'm sitting there going like, that goes against what everybody's advice is. Because to be fair, you should like if you're nervous and new to GMing, you should try reading a system and running it first before just homebrewing it. But I just realized that I'm going. I kind of want to I want to try to run a what is the term for that?
Pre-written
adventure. Pre-written adventure. Yeah, I want to run one just so that I have that experience under my belt. But it just dawned on me as you saying that. I was like, I don't think I've ever done that. I should.
So Connell has only ever heard about Kingmaker or Rune Lords. Rune Lords is fantastic. Falls apart at the last hurdle. The last third of a book is just a slog, and it basically brings the adventure to a grinding halt. Then there is Kingmaker, which I'm running now. I am enjoying it, but I think that's more the side of the mechanics that people enjoy.
Uh-huh. I was
And
just about to say, someone just came in and said episode 69, nice. I'm like,
we were trying not to. Claude, we were
I
trying not to.
was saying, is that Curly? That's Curly. That's fantastic. But I'm sitting here going, I'm trying to focus, and he said that. I'm like, all attention is gone.
We were, you know, when we kind of went, all right, what episode are we on? Around 69. I think there was a moment of silence where we just kind of went,
we should have just been
okay,
like,
let's just
that
let's just carry
episode.
on.
Is it Iron Gods or Strange Gods?
Iron Gods. Iron
Okay.
Gods is okay. I don't rate it massively high, to be honest, on my list. Yeah, I mean, there's a few. Abomination Vaults is fantastic. Just getting towards the end of that.
But okay, I just have to ask, like, do you, because okay, you talk about Delta Green and when stuff comes out, different missions and whatnot, like, do you ever go off script? Do you ever make your own Delta Green mission?
Right. Delta Green is, the way Delta Green is written, though, the way the operations are presented is very different to the way the Pathfinder adventures are presented.
Okay.
All right. So the Pathfinder adventures are presented with the players in mind. So it's okay. So the party will go here. They will talk to this person. They can get this information, and then they will move. So it's all very much kind of mapped out. Whereas Delta Green, what you get as an operation is essentially, this is what's really happening in the background. These are the people they can talk to with this, who have this information. These are the locations they can visit where they can find this information. And on occasion, there is a timeline of things happening.
Okay.
So Delta Green, by its very nature, you're kind of going off book anyway, because you're letting the players loose.
Yeah.
To kind of get the information any way they can. Whereas with a Pathfinder adventure path, you've got to kind of steer them in a way. And if they go off path and you're happy with that, great, fantastic. But honestly, if you're used to running, your own stuff, don't bother pre-written.
Really?
Nope. I think they are overrated. I think they are sold on something that isn't true. I think that they're sold on the concept that they are easier to run. That is bullshit.
Yeah.
They're harder. They're harder to run than your own.
Well,
stuff.
and that's what I was gonna ask, because you have done it and I haven't. Like, my biggest fear if I'm running a pre-written adventure is that I get to a part and I forget, like, oh shit, what's the character that's supposed to do this? Oh, what's gonna happen? And then I have to, like, not that it's that much pressure, because it's a game. Look it up. Your players will be fine while you look it up. But still, it's that fear of like, oh,
you will
I just fuck up the story. Speaking of
you
which,
will
pause that. Curly, Night of the Living Robots. What the hell is that? Is that a pre-written adventure for Mutants and Masterminds? Because that sounds amazing. Let me know if you're still in the chat. I need to know what that is.
Okay.
That sounds so cool.
But yeah, I mean, that is a problem with pre-written. All right. You are trying to memorize somebody else's work.
Yeah.
Whereas when I do my own thing, I don't do everything in detail. And this is a conversation I had with Justin back in the day when he was writing his campaign. My advice to him was, you're not writing this for someone else to read. You're writing it for you. So all you need are reminders, and trust your improvising skills for the rest.
Yeah. I use Microsoft Notes for, like, Notebook or Note, whatever it's called. OneNote, maybe.
OneNote,
yeah, for all my campaign things. So I can do, like, different books for different parts and different chapters, different pages. But I don't go into great detail. I just do, like, a recap of what happened, like highlights what my players did that I don't want to forget for the next game. And I actually GM next. I just realized that. I need to get my shit together.
You should check out The Lazy DM, I think it's called.
Yeah.
By Sly Flourish. It is fantastic. It changes your perception of GMing and what things you need to prep and what you don't need to prep.
Right. I try to only have the stats that I need for what my player's gonna be facing. My player's stats, obviously. Um, and general like glossary of map stuff. That's about it. Cause like I have a player who is it's Connell, who's super history focused. So he'll ask me like, oh, by the way, what are the archived records of this town from this year? And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like I've got to either come up with something on the spot. But I feel like knowing your players and knowing their characters and their habits, you can look ahead and know what you need to have prepared for what sessions, obviously.
So Connell has posted a question.
Mm.
How do you guys feel about players overstepping narrative bounds? Like, my character walks in and the sergeant tries to stop me, but I stare him down and he runs away. Then no. That's just a simple, no, it doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's it. It's just, no. I'll say what happens outside of your character. Not you.
I think that I've seen many GMs that are too nervous to say no. There's that belief that you should never say no. And I think that
that just sounds crazy to me.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. To me, when I hear that argument, it's like I always go back to board games. I understand role playing is not board games. Okay. We'll use Meetings and Masterminds because we both played it and we both love that game. There are times where the GM can fudge the line and be like, that technically isn't a rule that's allowed, but in this situation, I'll allow it. Or give me a good argument why that would work for your character. And I'm for it. Like certain things where like you don't have an action and movement, but it doesn't really count. I'm fine with it. But when someone's like, oh, I'm going to do this to your character and your character is going to respond this way and that NPC is going to go off and do that, at that point, to me, it's like, are you playing the same game as the other players in the GM? Like, it's kind of a self-check. Like, he's like, do you have a conversation with that player on the side? Do you call them out? Like, I don't know.
I don't need to have a conversation. I just go, no.
Couch. Your character falls through a rip in space-time and is no longer in the game.
Which is something, so grateful. Which is something that can happen in Delta Green.
That's fantastic. I am super lucky. My players are all very well behaved. Like they're there to play the game. They're excited. They're invested. I don't know. I've never had. Yeah, no bueno. Curly's on board with us because it's not at that point. Again, they're not playing the game with you. They are. That's a perfect way of saying it, dictating the story. And that's not the player's job. I mean, there are games out there where it is, but in general, that's not.
I think, to be honest, I mean, to kind of play devil's advocate, I think it is healthy for a GM to give the players some sort of control over the story.
Yeah. Well,
within reason.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, the players are writing the story with you, but like.
In things that, like, for example, in things that don't matter, let's go back to Connell's example of, I talk to the guard and he runs away. If it doesn't really matter to your story, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But the guard then runs away and gets more of his friends.
Yes.
And you use it as a launching point for a prompt.
Yeah. I have you're gonna be so excited when this happens. I don't think it's gonna happen this game. I think it's gonna be the next game at GM. We'll find out. One of my players kind of did that. They're like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing in order to do this. And I'm like, okay. And I let them. I'm being very like gender because I don't know if they're listening, so I'm not gonna let people know which player it was. But they rolled really well and really bad at the same time. It's those situations where like you can't really win either way.
You do realize that as vague as you're being,
yeah,
you've got what, 5, 6 players?
Yeah, I know.
And that player is going to 100% know you're talking about them.
No, because this has happened 3 times already in my campaign. Like, literally. But that role, I let them do that thing to kind of be cool. It's going to come back later, and it's going to be hilarious. They're all going to hate me for it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, that player 100% knows who you're talking about them.
They don't watch the show. It's okay. Curly, I could see them getting to flavor something that way after a check, or the player suggesting that as how they hope it plays out. That is how I run my games with my players, to be completely honest. If they roll well, I will always ask my players, what does that look like? there's always the catch of you'll get that player that's like, oh, I parkour upside down and sideways, and they have no athletics or no acrobats or no physical, and then you have to be like, time out.
I think also that is a quite a system specific sort of thing.
I don't know. I've played a bunch of systems, and I've seen players try that in each one. Like,
but again, it's to do something like that in D&D or Pathfinder takes a lot more than it would, for example, in Blades. Blades in the Dark, it would be a case of, right, I want to do this. I want to jump over there. I want to stab this person in the throat.
That's fair.
Okay, one roll. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Whereas in D&D, it's like, okay, so now you need to roll acrobatics. Now you need to roll this. So,
I wasn't even thinking D&D. I was thinking Shadowrun. I had some players. Well, I had some players. Oh my God. You haven't played Shadowrun?
No, never played it, but I've always been cautious. Every time I've thought about it, someone else has come along and just gone, nah, don't bother.
No, here's the thing. Combat is slow and crunchy, but
then no, I'm not interested.
It's not Pathfinder slow and crunchy. It's a completely different, and it's not, I don't know how to say this nicely. It's not slow if you pay attention. I'm going to say that that's as bad as nice as I can say it. Like, I've played it at a table where it went fast and everything was great. And then I played at a table where I'm like, dear God. Like, so I think it just kind of depends on the table, to be completely honest. So, or
no,
the,
I mean,
the
it's just
dynamics.
never, it's never really been on my radar, to be fair.
Yeah.
I may play it at some point, but there's no immediate plans.
I wish they would update it. Like they need to update it. But I'm a sucker for modern fantasy and sci-fi fantasy. So it's it is what it is. But
yeah, so like Connell says, he doesn't think I'll like it because combat is slow, and that's the thing. I don't like slow combat anymore.
Shut up, Couch. I know you're making fun of me. Sorry.
but in terms of letting players kind of have a say, I've got no problem with it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
It gives the players the sense of author. It gives the players a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Ownership.
And I agree with that, unless it impacts like something story wise,
Yeah, but if I'm creating the story, it can impact it. I can change it any way I want. I had a situation where players got MacGuffin, big bad overpowered evil guys came to get MacGuffin.
Yeah.
And players had to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, one of the players, because holding MacGuffin, kind of went, I'm tempted to just throw it at them and run.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he started saying, that would have derailed your campaign. I went, no, it wouldn't.
No. But see, I think that's the difference, is that you're the type of GM like me, where it's kind of like we adapt the story, and there's also consequences. Not like, oh, I'm going to reprimand you for what you did, but like action, reaction, like the common sense scientific side of things, and that's one thing. I think what Connell's referring to is when people just let the players literally do whatever. Because I know we've talked about what is it? Sam's gonna laugh if she's still listening. We called it God modding in our in the written world, like our written RPs we used to be in, where it's kind of like, if we're playing Mutants and Masterminds, I hit you, you go flying across into a building and you can't get up because I'm that cool. No, that's not how that works. Your character has a chance to roll. Your character has a chance to perceive something. You know what I mean? Like it's.
But I mean that is the role of the GM, and that is one of the problems I have with Pathfinder, is that role of the GM is now superseded by what it says in the book.
Oh, gotcha.
So okay, my character has taken this feat which says this happens, so you don't have that judgment anymore.
Yeah.
And I was saying it like long before I stopped playing Pathfinder, was the GM's not necessary. The books have taken over.
Yeah.
Whereas in other systems that I'm currently playing, whether it's with the player input or not, like in Blades in the Dark, the input for the score was, okay, so you had to go do a job for this person. What was the job? You tell me.
Sorry, I was laughing at Curly and Sam. They know what I'm talking about when I say God modding.
Fair enough.
And Curly's in Neopets role playing. I'm like, yeah. I was on Gaia Online with Sam, Curly, if you know what that is.
All right, so we're just going to take a quick moment here while we say a big thank you to some of our partners this evening.
Yeah.
So check out Deals of Opportunity. It's the automatic, simple, and free way to save on tabletop role-playing games that you want. You just add your Drive-Through RPG and Dungeon Masters Guild wish list and get notified anytime a title on your list goes on sale. You just set it up and save. We've also going to give a big mention to 13th Moon Games. It's a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA, that created the tabletop role-playing game Covenant Crucible, a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last witch hunting movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Covenant Crucible would be it. If you want to learn more or get interested in joining the official Discord game, check them out on Instagram. And lastly, check out our merch store where you can find t-shirts, hoodies, desk mats, and other items either with our logo, our supernatural inspired Wafflon design, or our Moves Like Atlas design. If you want to support us more directly, you can head to our Ko-fi page and make a one-time donation or subscribe to our $3 a month tier, which will give you exclusive Discord access and mention in our credits. And as always, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody who does subscribe and everybody who does kind of support us, thank you ever so much.
Yeah, you guys are why we're here. Like, to be completely honest, John and I can shoot the shit all day long, and that's fine. But like, and that's the thing, is to be completely honest, I love our viewers. Like, we can shoot the shit, but when you guys start talking in chat and asking us questions and like getting a conversation going, like, we love you guys. Like, you guys are amazing, and we are here because you keep us here. So thank you.
Yeah, that's it, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is. Basically.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd probably still shout at cars or something if I didn't have this to do. I'm just getting to that age. So
get off my lawn.
Yeah,
yes,
I don't have a lawn, but still get off it. Yes.
Connell says, if you do subscribe, you get the accent switch episode. We are one subscriber away from the accent switch episode. That is still an act. All we need is 3. We need 3 subscribers. It's going to happen. That's all it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Is it pronounced that way because of the accent, or is it another meaning? I need to ask Stefan next time I see it. What pronounced that way? Couch.
I have no idea. Couch.
I'm not sure. Who's Atlas's favorite British person? I'm not answering that. I'll have to think about it. Sean Connery.
That's fair.
Well, he's Scottish. Does that count as British?
He's British, yeah. Oh. He's from the British Isles, so yeah.
That's fair. Counts. That's fair. Coven? We mean, is that pronounced that way? Coven and Crucible?
I say Coven.
Coven? Oh, you say Coven? Oh,
Coven. Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Coven. Is that an accent thing?
I don't know. I mean, it could be the fact that
I don't. It may not be even like across the pond thing, because I say certain words different because my dialect is so weird. I grew up on different coasts of America through my development ages, so like it's a hot mess.
No, I say Coven. I've always said Coven.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Nah, I will Google that later, and I'm sure it'll be they're both equally valid.
Yeah. Well. All right, that's fair. That's fair. But that is like the smallest of rewards. I will be posting a chart for everybody of all the rewards and the surprises and the things for subscribing, for commenting, for following. It's gonna be good. It's gonna.
I have no idea about any of this.
He has no idea about any of it. You do know about the? No, you don't know about that either. Never mind.
No. I've given Atlas carte blanche. Mm-hmm. She can crack on. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to do something I don't want to do anyway. So
it's true.
I will do the accent switching though.
You have to.
And
you've already agreed.
I've agreed to the accent switching. Yeah. So, but that's just going to make everybody uncomfortable. And it's
my
be
British
your
will make everyone. Everybody's gonna. My British.
Yeah, but we already established you've got like the Helen Mirren, Olivia Colman sort of quality.
I really don't. You're full of shit.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
I have another.
Yeah, but when I do an American accent, I never settle on a location. I'll start in one place and I'll do like an American tour.
That's how I am with my British accents, because I don't even know, like, if someone's like, oh, do an Essex accent, I don't know. Do like someone from Kent, I don't know. Like, I don't know the differences. I don't even like.
Okay, so for an Essex accent, all you have to do is lean on the words that end in ly. So literally, basically, literally. So yeah, that's Essex for you.
That's perfect. I'm gonna
Can't
have to do
tell me
that for a
I'm
character.
wrong.
I'm gonna have to do that for a character in game.
Literally,
Literally.
literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, just you know, and you kind of move your mouth without moving your mouth, like literally.
Curly had to do an Irish for a play once. It was not regionally specific at all. Connell and I try. Connell does it. Connell does Irish well. Of course, I'm not Irish, so I can't say whether it's well or not. Let me put it this way: Connell does Irish better than me.
Couch is adding some Essex into the chat. South End babes.
South End.
Babes.
Why did I immediately feel like I sounded like a creeper saying that?
Is it? Oh yeah, don't worry. I will teach you.
You have to teach me. Yeah.
I do not have an Essex accent, just in case anybody was wondering. And my accent is from the north of England.
That's okay. Mine's fucked up too because I grew up in the South, right? I have the dialect of West Coast because that's when I started learning like language. I have the original accent,
and you learned it really well, may I say?
Oh yeah, so well. I'm so good at English, guys. Yeah, and it's bad because it'll come out in game too. Well, hell, it comes out here, but yeah, English is hard. English is hard, but that's okay. We play tabletop role playing games anyways. So, but what is like your best accent you do for games? Do you do accents for games?
I don't really. Every now and again, I'll try, and I can't. The problem is I can't keep them up.
I'll start for that.
Not for accents, oddly enough.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'll start, and then about an hour into the game, it's like I cannot be fucked. I can't be fucked doing this.
Do you change dialect at any times? Like when you're playing a character, do you change? Because for example, my alien Serenity, whom I love so much, and Connell can't touch her, doesn't use what are they called? Fuck. See, I shouldn't be talking about English. She never says I don't. I do not. I can't. I cannot. She right, I purposely. Thank you. That word. She doesn't ever speak with contractions, and in Mutants and Masterminds, that's what I focused on, because I didn't want to really do an accent for the same reason. Like I'll fuck it up, I'll forget it, it's whatever. I changed the way I spoke. Everything was smoother and lighter, and no contractions. And then other characters, I've changed like my pitch. So that's what I've kind of leaned into instead of accents.
I mean, I don't really. I mean, I may make slight differences, which are based around my character's personality. As opposed to trying out accents. In Call of Cthulhu, all I had to do was dial up the Yorkshire. So I was talking a bit more like this, and you know, I just spent the entire game like that. But I found that really easy because that is, you know, where I learned English. That is where that's what they speak.
Yeah. Yep.
So Connell is wanting me to speak Spanish, but
I was actually about to say, because here's the thing. I'll make a deal with you, John. I will make a deal with you. Curly made a point. I grew up in the South, purposely made sure I didn't sound like people around me. Curly, I learned a northern accent when I moved to Indiana because kids made fun of me so bad. So here's my deal. And no, I'm not good at English, Curly. That's why I need you people to help me like figure out what I'm saying. If you speak Spanish, I'll use my original Southern accent.
I'm not doing it tonight.
All right.
It's one of those things that anybody who's bilingual will tell you the same thing. It's a pet peeve. When somebody goes, "Oh, speak Spanish," it's like, "Oh, fuck off."
See, I don't mind. Desi, who's in the chat, it's so funny because like we'll be at her house or something, and Spanish will come up, and me and Coco, it's me, Coco, and Desi all recognize Spanish. Like I'm not super fluent in it, but it'll be great because we're hanging out, and suddenly we'll hear it, and our brains do that switch, and you can see all of us just stop for a second. It's like. It's like a brain reset. Like.
You know, it's the whole you get put on the spot, and it's, you know, what do I say? And it's, you know, it's really, I find it really uncomfortable.
That goes back to, I think, that selective socializing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think that actually has something to do with it because like you're put in the spot, you're been told to perform, and I don't think that goes with your personality.
Yeah. I mean, someone like Curly, I do believe, put language loading.
Yeah.
That is now what it's like, whereas it never used to be for me.
Oh.
Because when I was growing up in Spain, I was in a tourist resort with a huge British community.
Oh.
So I was speaking Spanish and English almost equally.
Yeah.
So it was really quick. I could go from one to the other in the same conversation
Cool.
and back again without thinking about it. Now I don't, because now I primarily speak English. When I have to speak Spanish, I just have to go, okay. And I will,
por favor.
yeah, and then I
Yeah.
will go into it.
Yeah. But I think that's me with accents, is that's why I don't do them very much when I'm GMing, because I have to think so hard to switch the accent to the NPC that I just don't do it. I'll change dialect like flavor, but I never change the actual accent, because I'd rather be focusing on the game and the players and the information than, oh, is that accent on point? Am I doing that on purpose? Like
I do more accents when I'm not trying to do them.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to friends and this, that, and the other, and I'm trying to be funny, or I'm telling a humorous story, I will come out and all of a sudden I'll slip into an accent, and it'll come quite naturally. But then when we go back to playing a game and I've got a character who's Irish, well, just imagine this is an Irish accent and let's go. Because if not, I won't be consistent with it.
Yeah, no, I do this thing, and Connell's witnessed it. He can testify. I'm great. I'm so good at accents if I'm not trying, if I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
We'll be joking around and bleh, and you could see his face just went, what just happened? I'm like, I can't do it again. Don't ask me to do it again. Like
Yeah, it's the whole reactive, you're not thinking about something, so it comes a lot more naturally. But the moment I start thinking, oh, I need a Birmingham accent for this character, all of a sudden I completely forget how to do a Brummie accent.
Yes, and I'm going to take what everyone's saying in the chat and what you just said. I'm going to bring it full round to tabletop role-playing games. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it.
No, of course not.
GMing, gaming, anything, anything, a game should be good. You should be having fun and feel good. If at any point you feel pressured or uncomfortable as a player, say something. And if you're not comfortable saying something, message your GM on the side. And if as a GM you're not comfortable with something, don't do it. You're literally running the game. You're the referee at the game. Like, don't do it. Call it.
Yeah, it's all about staying within your comfort zone
and staying true to yourself. Let's be a little cheesy. Like,
yeah. Like... And the real prize were all the friendships we met we made along the way.
English is hard. See?
Hey, English is hard. English is very hard.
Yeah. I kudos to all of our friends who create game systems and they have like bilingual, they're from different countries, and I'm like, how do you do it? Like English.
Yeah, I think when you are bilingual, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
You don't think about what an achievement it is because it's something natural to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't come as, for me, writing something in English is the same as me writing something in Spanish.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So I don't think of it as anything major, because I've been fortunate enough to grow up speaking 3 languages.
Wait, 3? What's your third?
Catalan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I will. I've got a huge disclaimer on this though.
Okay.
Because the Catalan I'd learned is known as Mallorquin.
Okay.
So it's not an official language, but all the people in Mallorca will tell you that it is an official language. And to be honest, it's distinct enough from actual Catalan. Then, I'd speak Mallorquin.
We've talked about this briefly because like my Spanish is good enough I can get myself in trouble. But the problem is I learned audibly Spanish from this wonderful woman from Tabasco, Mexico. But my grammar that I learned to speak Spanish is Dominican Republic Spanish. Yeah. So like it does not connect well. It really doesn't. It's kind of like but it is what it is.
So how do you? So while we're on the topic of languages, and again bringing it back to
Yeah.
what we're actually here to talk about,
Of course.
languages in your world.
Yeah.
Do you play in an established setting, or have you created your world as well?
I've created my world.
And
so
so
fun-
do languages play a part in that?
Yes, but here's I'll just little side story. It's a little side rant. In case people are curious about my game that I'm running. It's the Valley of the Kings is the title of the game, the title of the campaign.
Good title.
My players are playing on a continent that, for lack of better words, is dying. It's been cursed, forgotten, abandoned, however you want to take it. But the premise is it used to be a land run by these kings, plural. Okay. Kings mysteriously died. There's multiple different versions of how they died because it's been hundreds of years. And what happened is people left as it started dying out. Fields stopped being, productive. All these things, everything got sick. Like creatures in the woods started becoming haunted and these creepy things, right? People left the continent. And as they left, the cultures left. So what's left is very, very small remnants of cultures and lands and peoples. So there are different languages. My players have not run into them yet. There are different languages, different communities that are still straggling behind. But I do have different languages. The thing is, I don't speak them. Connell, as a GM, speaks them. And he'll come up with some fucking random words to blah, 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 like gibberish, and it's believable. And I'm like, that's so cool. What did you say? He's like, I just made it up. Me, though, I'm just like, yeah, in another language it sounds like clicking, they say this. Or I'll, describe, oh, you hear this like fluid language, it sounds like water. Like, I'm very descriptive with what it sounds like and what it emotes, but I can't. I get way too nervous.
But I think, to be honest, I kind of do like that approach because, again, for me, it would be a matter of consistency.
Yeah.
So if I were to kind of create a realistic sounding language, I would have to try and replicate that every time.
Exactly.
Whereas if I go, okay, so this language sounds very melodic and very soft spoken, very soft consonants, that means I don't have to carry on going back to the same well of trying to emulate the language. So I kind of I like your approach.
Yeah, it's easier to go back to it. It's easier to make notes about it. And then also, if I have multiple NPCs from the same area, I don't then have to worry about making up a language and or accent and gender and personality. I can just make it descriptive and then focus on the character.
Yeah.
That's me though. That's yeah.
No, but I do like that approach. And to be honest, I used it because obviously if you're dealing with Pathfinder, especially when you start going into stuff like Ignan and Susurran, which are the languages of the plane of fire and the plane of air.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I create that? But at least they give you sort of cues as to, okay, so air is very fluid, it's very soft spoken, whereas Ignan is very sort of strong and passionate. And,
I love that. Languages in real life make you feel a certain way when you hear them, right? Good or bad. Like, let's be real. So I feel like in game that should reflect. You're right on. Yeah.
No, yes, I definitely do like your approach. But I do believe that's pretty much all we've got time for tonight.
Is it really? Man, time flew.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
Curly was actually saying bye, so bye, Curly.
Curly, thank you very much for stopping by.
I loved having you. Oh, yeah.
All right.
No.
So
time flew.
It did. It did. I've had an absolute blast. It's been good catching up, and so for those of you that kind of want to rewatch this, on Thursday morning, that is when the episode will air, both on YouTube and in audio format.
Yes.
But I just want to thank everyone that's been in the chat. You've kept us company. You've kept us on our toes. We love you guys, and don't ever hesitate to kind of stop by and keep us company.
Connell, we already answered favorite game snack. We've already answered that.
That was Connell, too late. That was
episodes ago. That was episodes ago. We answered that because you have these like corn crispy puffy thingies.
Connell's had all episode to ask that, and instead he asked me about Spanish.
Listen, It came up with a good language conversation question. I will before we go. Connell does bring up a good point. He comes up with the names of a location and then the vibe of the language after that. That I do that too. Like if I have to come up with like the location, the background, and then it kind of grows from there. So
no, I like that. I like that idea. I might actually put that into practice.
You should.
But thank you to you for spending some time with me this evening.
Oh yeah.
All right, do you want to tell people whereabouts they can find you on the interwebs?
Yes, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Threads. Atlas Ursa. Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear. All right. Super, super love hanging out and interacting with you guys. Even on YouTube on Thursday on comments. I will comment with you guys. Like, just come hang out. On all of my bio links, you can find my Discord. Come hang out in my Discord. We do random games. We do like art streams. We hang out. It's just chill.
It is a ton of fun.
Yeah, so come hang out.
As for me, you can find me at Natural Juan at dice.camp on Mastodon, natural.juan on Threads, also Too Legit to Crit on Blue Sky, as well as our Facebook group. If you like what we do, you want to see more, you give us a like, a rating, subscribe, even just tell your friends about us. We love this community. We want to see it grow. We want to grow with you. Yeah. Most importantly of all, I want to thank everyone who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.